My fly was down and y'all didn't even know. I was wiggling. Oh, wait, what? Ladies like a man with no muckle. No muckle hair. The fuck is a muckle? Ugh. Of course I said ego-testicle. What, are you kidding me? Do you like it high and tight, or you like beef curtains? Piss is indeed stored in the balls. Settle down and eat your cock sandwich. Is that better? Is that better? Can you hear me now? Yeah, you can hear me now. I mean, I could adjust it. I could move it further back, but I guarantee you, I would lose connection on that. Yay! What's up, friend? The one and only cryptid, the one and only person here. So we've said our hellos. Hello, I hope you had a good weekend, my friend. I did, actually. It was not bad. I had yet to move the camera, obviously move the camera back into place because of the overhead and everything. So we're still with the extreme close-ups right now. You could count the gray hairs on my face, which is unfortunate. But you can hear me now, and you can type, so all is right with the world. Yes. Yeah, so that's enough of that. Ah, that's better. Now I'm not in your bubble anymore. It's better, right? Let's take this off. It was a good weekend, but my Monday was an adventure. Hey, you know, it could be worse. Adventure is good, right? I just realized this is YouTube, so I can't actually chat in my own chat on YouTube. What? What is happening? Tell me about your adventure. I spent from 8:30 to 1:15 on jury duty selection. How'd that go? Did they kick you off? I don't know. Do you find it to be your civic duty, or do you not want to do the thing? Because, you know, some people don't like doing that stuff. And I can't say I blame them. It's like we don't want to have to go and be judgmental on others. We just want to go about our lives, right? So I'm looking right now for a reference to do some sketching. Just some doodles to get kind of the day started. Whoa, hello. That was way zoomed in. Let's try that again. 100%. There we go. Just 100%. Nicole, hello. Hello, hello. I don't want to do the thing. Yeah, not many people will do. I just want to be able to pay rent and not leave the house. Is that so much to ask? Can I just be anti-people for however long I need to? My entire life? I mean, I just pay rent and don't leave my house, so I understand. That's not entirely true. I do leave the house. I find it beneficial to interact with human beings. That's why we're going to be doing the second Saturdays here, so that I can keep some of the social. See, I don't know how to social. Clearly. How you doing, Nicole? How was your weekend? I say that I want to be anti-people, but then I am of the variety that half the time I am anti-people, and then the other half of the time I'm like, oh man, I kind of feel like I need to interact with some human beings because I feel like I'm losing my fucking mind. Like, and you know, interacting with people in video games is not the same thing as interacting in person, where you can actually like see their body language and, you know, smell their aromas. I don't know if that's right. My entire life I pay rent, so I want to take advantage of it. Every cent I pay. You know what? That's totally fair. That is totally fair. I do think that there's something to be said for getting out and humaning occasionally, though. But only occasionally. The rest of the time I'm cool to just like create and be alone in my thoughts. And I didn't realize that for fucking ever about myself. Right? And I don't think it was like a learned behavior. I think it was a behavior that I had to settle into and accept. That every time I got too busy, I felt like just the people nearest me became too much, right? And then I pushed them away. And then I realized, hey, maybe I just need to communicate that I need to go and do my thing. You know, create some art, and it's okay to need that space, right? Because primarily I would say primarily that's what it's about, but it's also about like, hey, I just need me time. It's that simple. Like, no, I don't want to go to your party because I don't feel like it this weekend. I just want me time this weekend, right? And that's okay. That's why when like if I had something planned with like Daniel or something, and he would say to me, hey, I don't really feel like it right now, I'd be like, okay. And usually flakes are my pet peeve, but like if you've got the balls to say to me, I just don't feel like it right now, then I'm like, cool, I totally fucking get that. Like, hey, I don't feel like it, I'm pretty socialed out right now. That is a fucking valid excuse for me. Like, most people would be like, yeah, that's fucking dick, you didn't say you're not socialed out with me, I'm not special. But no, that's fucking like, no, just fucking go recharge your batteries and, you know, we'll reschedule. That being said, if you fucking say that to me and you're not like, and if you don't present an option for rescheduling, then I'll just be like, you know what, fuck you. Hey Viscera, welcome on in. Hello Sariana. I almost fucked up your last name. I'm not gonna say it. Hi Sariana. Oh hey guys, I made a thing today. You guys want to see the thing I made? It's super amazing and artsy. What is that doing on my desktop? What is that doing on my desktop? Close that up. Wow. Where is it? Here we go. Open. Yeah. See? Who's your boy with the skills, baby? I don't know. I don't know. Burger's cat. That's Burger Face's cat. You can't even. You can't even. Shit. I fucked it up already. What up, Lo-Fi? How you doing, buddy? I found the laser pointer. Dog plus laser pointer. Hell yes. Hell yes. Any animal plus laser pointer. I wonder if that works on like horses and bears and shit. Like now I kind of want to take a laser pointer to the zoo and just see what happens. Just fucking trolling animals, right? With a laser pointer. Oh, man. Oh. Hey, Sariana, you want to go to the zoo with me and troll animals? Oh, that's probably the wrong person to ask. Sariana loves animals. I'm like, they're just like people. Fuck them. I'm gonna troll them. Right? I never that particular thought had never crossed my mind, but now that it has, I think we've got some probably TikTok material that we can go and shoot. The lions, the tigers, and maybe the bears. Oh my. Why? Because fucking science, man. Or like maybe the meerkats, right? Yeah, Mr. Los Angeles man mauled to death by a pack of meerkats today at the LA Zoo. Last heard screaming, "Science!" I fafoed? I don't know what a fafoed is. Running away screaming, but still somehow using the laser pointer. Yes. Of zoobs. Listen, if I'm going to the zoo to get mauled, I'm pretty sure Sebastian's coming with me. I've always wanted to try that. Whoops. Shit. Whoops. Double shit. Come on. Oh man, I'm just ruining it. Left and right now. What's up, Sebi? Sorry, you're not Sebi. You're Sebastian. Sebastian, are you at work still? Or did you actually leave at a fucking not god-awful hour? For those that don't know, Seb and I work together. He is the other half of the equation of the Mass Effect legendary key art. In other words, he's a badass. It is upgrading. Motherfucking fuck me in the fucking face with a fucking spork. I forgot my water. Went downstairs 4 times. I forgot my fucking water. Y'all mind waiting? Hey, what's happening, friends? I got water now. Tastes like mountain spring water, fresh from Toluca Lake. Okay, boob right back indeed. Henri is done and rewind is next. What? So I'm making decorative personalized urns for our fallen comrades. Oh yeah, so we had our first TPK of our entire D&D existence playing together. It was a bunch of us, and Sebastian was DMing. Luckily, we weren't extremely attached to the characters, and the way that we're playing is it's kind of a gamified version, so you can choose to lose all of the XP that you've gained in that level and respawn back at base. So it's a bummer. But luckily, I had just leveled up, so it wasn't that bad. I'm gonna miss the net of warning. RIP net of warning. That was very crucial to sleeping in dungeons, and I'm not gonna lie, it's a bummer that it's gone. So this is something that that people frequently get wrong when they're drawing characters. Like they'll draw their characters from the front, and their legs will be like this, right? And the kneecaps are like straight forward. Seb, there's no fucking way I'm going back in that dungeon, dude. Are you fucking kidding me? That shit was deadly, with a capital dead. Fuck. So what I was saying is they do the kneecaps straight forward, and it's really fucking weird. It's awkward as fuck, right? Like you're doing this like T-pose thing, but we don't stand like that. We're like, try and stand with your kneecaps like totally forward. Your feet are like just dead straight, like this, below you. It's fucking weird. Like when you stand, there's always going to be a little bit of this kind of outward turn, so the kneecap is there facing out a little bit, right? So that's just, you know, for future reference, anytime you want to draw somebody that looks like they're actually standing there and not like a fucking wooden armature model thing. Oh, speaking of that, I was digging around in the closet today. Don't ask what I was doing in the closet. And I found my old articulated armatures that I had picked up way back when. So I've got a couple of armatures just sitting around here. In boxes. They were still in the box. Like I'd never taken them. I bought them and kept them in the box, and then put them in a box, and then put that box inside of another box so that I could move. So they just sat there for the past year. No, you know what I dug out of the closet today? 19 short boxes of comics over my lunch break. I was sweating. And then I put them in the attic where I'm never going to look at them again until I move. Because fuck them. It was a deep closet, Nicole. It was a deep closet. And it was sweaty and moist and reminded me of high school for some reason. Oh, it was the comics. Yeah. Boxception. Yes, Alan, exactly. It was like, put that box inside of another box, and then I mail it to myself, and then smash it with a hammer! Or, to save on postage, if you don't know what that's from, that is from The Emperor's New Groove, one of Disney's finest films. And if you're wondering what we're sketching right now, this is just a little bit of a warm-up, just to get the old hand working. Because what I did today was I did a bunch of stuff for work. You guys want to see? Want to see some stuff that I can show you from my work? Kuzco is my favorite Disney princess. Oh, by far. Absolutely. Absolutely. But if you really think about it, Kuzco's not the princess. And here's why. Because he doesn't have an animal sidekick. So that would mean that Krunk is the Disney princess. Right? It's the animal sidekick. Squeak squeaker, squeak squeaking, right? Okay, so he is this animal sidekick, yes. Then that would make Pacha the Disney princess. Pacha. Okay, so here's the stuff that I worked on today. Ruined one of my brushes doing this. What? There it is. There's one. Yeah. I mean, you guys said you wanted to see some of my work, so here's some of my work. There's another. I like this one the most. I think this is my favorite. This one didn't quite come out the way I wanted. So I was a little disappointed, but I might still be able to use it. This one's pretty good. Like, how many of these fucking things does he have? Yeah. Yeah. There's still more, and more. This is show and tell of stuff that I'm working on for work. This one's pretty good too. I like those shapes there. I might use that. I might use those last two like combined somehow. And then this one has some really great kind of painterly marks there. Like, look at those edges. Oh, those are great. And I think this was the first one where I was like, I don't know how to work this thing. So, yeah. So now all I have to do is take photos of all of it. All right. So the princess is Yzma? Hello, Cosmonaut. Welcome in. Ruining brushes. Oh man. Yeah, and it was supposed to be a brush for what do you call it? Gessoing boards. But I bought it after I gessoed all the last set of boards, and I'm not gonna buy any more boards until I blast through all of the boards that I already have. This is my invoice of boards. There are numbers along this edge. Do you see those numbers? That's how many of each of these I have. So, yeah. 8, 11, 3, 4, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 1, 6, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 3, 1. And those are all different sizes. So we're gonna blast through all of those. So hopefully sometime next year I'll be able to start gessoing boards again. But I had bought that brush specifically to gesso boards, and then didn't gesso the boards. So I was using it to do that ink stuff today, and realized that I probably ruined it when I went to clean it, and it took me probably 20 minutes to clean out, just to the point where it's sort of not running black out of the brush. I was like, fuck, okay, well, had to double check with Daniel. I'm like, hey, but how would you clean out a 3-inch brush? He told me to soak it, so it's soaking right now. I hope that I don't ruin the what's the thing called where it clamps the brushes? Ferrule, something like that. What's your go-to lens for taking photos of traditional pieces? Whatever lens is on my fucking camera at the time, Viscera. No, I try and do something that's that matches the crop proportion of the sensor on the camera, right? So if I'm using a cropped sensor, then I use something like a 35 or 50 millimeter. And then if I'm doing a full frame sensor like the Sony a7 III, then I'm gonna go with something that's 70 to 85 millimeter. Because that way you get less fall off on the edges, and you get less chromatic aberration. Because when you're doing something like that, you don't want chromatic aberration. I mean, you might, but if you're going to be using it in a graphic way, and you're not just using it for, like, let's say a Photoshop brush or something, then you definitely want some crisp edges on there. So what I'll do is I'll take those photos, depending on how big it has to be. Like, for my final for that has to be 12,000 pixels tall. So that means what I have to do is I have to take them in sections, like 4 separate sections, each one, so that it's a huge image, right? So I'm zoomed in I'm over it as close as I can get to maximize pixel dimensions on the actual sensor itself. And then I'm going to piece them together in Photoshop, double check in Camera Raw that I've tried to remove any chromatic aberration that I can, so that I have crisp edges and that each one of those little tiny bits and pieces is beautiful and clean. It's a lot more work than you would think, but hopefully it'll give me a really fun finished look to things. And maybe I'll even license some of my content, right? Like, hey, I made this. You want to license it? Yeah, sure. You can have it. $500. Who's thinking like an entrepreneur? Never give away what you can charge for. God, that just feels dirty in my mouth. And not in a good way either. Like, there's certain things you want to feel dirty in your mouth, right? Entrepreneur! Exactly, Sam. That's how we do. Entrepreneur! Man. Yeah, sorry. Sorry, Siri. There's no clips here. You get nothing. You get nothing and like it. I feel like my energy level's a little higher today, which is nice because it's been so low recently. Speaking of Solo, I watched Solo, Star Wars story this weekend. I have to say, it didn't deserve the bad rep it got. Like, it was entertaining. I had fun. It was Star Wars. Like, why all the hate, man? Except for, like, I didn't need to know that I didn't need the whole name, Han. Last name, who are your people? I don't have people. Solo. Are you fucking kidding me? Come on. Just like too much of a thing is a thing, right? Like, just it's okay to leave some mystery to the character. How did he get his name Han? I don't give a fuck. Just fucking show me the character doing fun shit, and I'm good with that. I also could have done without them having him speak Wookiee. Like, no, come on. You don't need to do that. It's fine. Just have him speak Common back to him. Common? Is there a Star Wars Common? I mean, there's gotta be, right? The movie is good, though. It's exactly what I expect a movie about Han Solo to be. Dumb, actiony fun. Yeah, exactly. I think it's called Galactic Common. Do you speak Galactic? I do. Galactic in my pants. Is it seriously called Basic? Because if it's called Basic, that's like the laziest world building I've ever fucking heard. Although Common's pretty fucking lazy if you think about it. Anybody else have a fun weekend? I had a really nice weekend, I gotta say. It was good to spend some time with people, roll some dice, be gluttonous. We ordered food twice. Well, we ordered food once, and then I was like, ice cream! And then we ordered ice cream. honestly, if you think about language and naming works, it absolutely makes sense that a common language between thousands of species would be called basic. Oh man, do you really want to nerd into me with this, Sebastian? Because world building is, world building is the funnest part of writing, right? Because you get to let your imagination go and just come up with all of this stuff and then think about how it actually fits together, right? And then, like, if it doesn't fit, then you can curtail things and you can kind of move it around. Like, it probably doesn't even have a species origin. It's so far removed from the original imperialistic or mercantile species that coined the mix of languages that became basic. Ooh, Sebastian's throwing big words at me so that I feel confused and agree. Yes, it sounds smart, so it must be. No, I think, yeah, I don't know, it makes sense, but it feels lazy to me. I don't know why. Like English is used throughout the world in many forms, right? But we still call it American. Sorry. My fucking Cintiq is moving. I think it would be something equivalent to the term proto. Yeah. No, I just and you know, honestly, this is interesting. Like, as things move further and further away from Lucas and what his original trilogy was, you're starting to see more and more influences of our modern affects and stuff like that within that world. And that was my major difficulty with Mando and Boba Fett, was the way that they were written felt just too much like reskinned modern stuff. Like, there's not enough of the fantasy in it, right? So it lost, like, if you look at Lucas, he at least tried to make them speak somewhat differently, right? Like, if you look at the dialogue and stuff, and then even the actors will say, who talks like this? Nobody talks like this. Well, that's because it's a different galaxy, and it's supposed to have kind of a I don't want to say Shakespearean, that's giving it way too much credit, but it's supposed to have a different feel to the way that they speak, an alien way, right? An alien feel at least. And the more that other people have played in that playground, the further it goes from feeling like that. So, where was I going with that? It's a different galaxy where good scriptwriters are put to the sword. No good scriptwriters exist. No, you look at the if you look at the or listen to the way that they speak in the more recent shows, it just feels like, I don't know. That's my major qualm with those. Entertaining, but not Star Wars-y enough for me. But I'm an old fart, so I'm not the target audience. And I'm sure that the kids that are enjoying those shows right now are going to grow up with them and love them and adore them, and they're going to be a beloved addition to their nostalgia. And then as it gets homogenized and dumbed down even further, they'll say the same things that we're saying now. I'm saying the same things I'm saying right now. So this is just a little bit of warm-up doodling right now, just to get the blood flowing before I try and jump into doing a little something for that dark fantasy painting that I keep wanting to do, but I'm not satisfied with yet. Everybody knows that you need to be satisfied with something if you're working on it, at the very least. Otherwise, it just turns into work. No. Otherwise, it looks boring and it feels boring, and people can tell when you're unexcited about it, right? Oh man, for a warm-up today, I did a little bit of, I was doing some kind of Mucha-esque line work. So that's the one where like you get this real thick exterior all the way around, right? And then you get the teeny tiny lines on the inside. And so I'm friends with, or I was friends with, Bob Layton. And for those of you that don't know, Bob Layton was writer and artist on Iron Man back when it was just taken off, and he wrote the Demon in the Bottle story, and Tony Stark for the most part is kind of fashioned after him. And when people at the Drink and Draw Social Club were inking like this, where it had like the exterior line and then the interior like smaller detail lines, man, he lost his shit. He was like, you kids today don't know how to ink shit. And I was like, damn, Bob, hot take. I mean, it's a valid inking technique, right? It really makes your stuff pop. So I don't see anything wrong with it. But he was like, why don't you have thicks and thins? Or why don't you have like a thick underneath there to kind of show that there's a shadow kind of edge and that sort of thing? And I was like, because that's not the style, Bob. And I make him sound like a grumpy old man, but he's a fucking awesome dude. He's actually one of the coolest dudes I know. Way cool. Bob Layton, baby. Hell yeah. Whoops. So did anybody answer what they did this past weekend? I feel like y'all didn't. So, while I'm waiting for anybody to talk, I was Daniel and I frequently have this conversation about Pinterest not being art direction, right? Like going and finding. Yes, Sariana. Yes, you were. It was all frozen margs and sunshine for me on Sunday. Oh yeah, nice. Glad to hear that. It was all bathroom breaks and gas for me on Sunday. All that food fucked me right up, but that's okay. But now the upside is now I do not have to go create a soundboard, so that's something. Perfect. Love that silver lining, Sariana. Yeah, so the Pinterest is not art direction thing. It's funny because now when I'm looking for something to draw, I just go to Pinterest. Yeah, very much for the best. I was waiting for Sebastian to start throwing dice at the soundboard interruptions. I was that. I don't know, I thought they were pretty fun. I had a good time. No. I believe you get your ass kicked for doing that. I don't know. I don't think you need to be sorry for creating humor. I think that was a good time all around. I love the thought of like the Kenku who has like the crowd sound every time something fun happens. Ah! Fucking hilarious. Whoops, that's right up near the top. Why would you do that? 'Cause I'm dumb. Sure am. Was. Like the accent on the was. Nice. I mean, at least she lasted a level. One level. It was good. You have to forgive my yawns, friends. I've been sleeping like fucking booty hole right now. It's not that you're boring. It's that I am tired. I'm a tired old man. I mean, okay, that's true. She was five points away from second level. Oh man, I honestly, I kind of wish we were recording it so we could have put together a fucking, just a snippet so that we could share it with the community, because holy shit, what a ridiculous everything that entire day was. So I say that I do this for warm up, but part of it is that I just plain enjoy sketching, and I don't sketch as much at work. I'm doing more illustration work, and so I feel like I need to get some sketching time in. And so that's this here. We're just gonna sketch and doodle and have fun. What up, Martez? Welcome in, buddy. How you doing? Happy Monday. Sounds like somebody's got a case of Mondays. Oh, we got Wubba Wubba music, you guys. Do you guys like Wubba Wubba? I like Wubba Wubba. Let's move this down a little bit. I feel like Wubba Wubba has a place, right? Like when you've been listening to... no, Martest, I haven't been northing much. I'm actually pretty southing. I'm much more southing than you. Pretty sure you're way more northing than me. I can almost hear Martez just telling me to shut the fuck up right now. And it makes me giggle on the inside. That is a really, no, it's a really great spelling error. I do enjoy it very much. Northing much. Move these up just a smidge to... Wait, what just happened? Why did you delete? That's weird. What the fuck is going on with this? Only rolling your eyes. I can hear you rolling your eyes from here, Martest. Is anybody else making art right now? Clean this up and then we'll put in, probably should have thought about that before I even sketched it in, but like put in those flyaways afterwards. That way I can get these shapes designed first. Drawing a tiefling. Ooh. Show me those teefies. You know those days when it feels good to just fucking doodle? Feels good to doodle today. Like low pressure doodle, right? Now I can throw a couple of flyaways up here. There we go. So the ears, since her head is tilted, the bottom of the lobes are going to be kind of aligned more with the top of her lip than the bottom of her nose, right? Because everybody knows your ears, if it's from straight on, your ears, the bottom of the ears should align to the bottom of the nose. But as you tilt back, the ears kind of drop down, right? See that? So, to show that her head is tilted back more, kind of show those earlobes lower down. That was another thing that I stumbled upon today in digging out the comic books from the closet. and I dug out the comic books so that I could create a media cart for D&D. So I'm going to take the computer and the monitor and the keyboard and the mouse, and I'm going to put them all on a dolly, and they're going to roll directly into the closet. And then on Saturdays, I'm going to pull the dolly out of the closet with everything on it. I'm going to take the plugs and I'm going to plug them in, and I'm going to set the monitor on the table, and we're going to start. Who's your boy planning big things? I mean, if I'm your boy, then that's me, yeah. Break it down. Let's bring her hair down a little bit. A little out of control there, lady. She's a bedhead. How dare you with your bedhead? Designing my shapes. Designing those shapes. Oh man. So I'm working on this fantasy project at work. Can't tell you what it is. Fantasy project. So much hair. So much fucking hair. Just like long flowing hair and fucking beards and hair and more hair and beards and hair and hair. And then hair on top of your hair and then hair. So much hair. You know how long it takes to draw hair? Fuck. Like, I feel like in the past 2 weeks I must have spent at least one full day just drawing hair. Yeah. Yeah. One full day. And there's nothing wrong with that, but like you can only draw so much hair before you're like, is there another way to do this? Right, so you end up doing stuff like this with hair, where you just like, you pick the shape and you're like, okay, this is the hair shape. And then you're like, okay, I'm done. But you're not, because that doesn't look professional enough. So you need to make sure that the hair looks really nicely done, right? Level of finish. Level of finish, friends. There's a lot to be said for it. Like, anybody can draw a poster, but you know, level of finish. Like here, let me show you. Like, here you go. Like, you can draw a movie poster, but what's the level of finish on it, right? What takes it from being a fan art piece to being a movie poster? Level of finish. Fan art. I don't know if there's any illustrated movie posters on here. What's something? Oh, I know. professional movie poster. It's like the douchiest dickhead move ever. Fan art, professional. For those that don't know, that's that place that I went. This is alternative movie posters. It's actually kind of cool. There's some fun stuff on here. There's also some really bad stuff that shouldn't. It's, you know, it's just people, it's fans making fan art movies, movie posters. So, you know, it could definitely be better in some regards. But there are some real cool things going on here. Dude, that's badass. Right? That's pretty cool. Proportions get wonky as fuck, but still cool. This artist is dope ass. Dig their work. There we go. Like, look at this Dark Knight one. Hell yes, bitches. That's cool. Their shapes, so good. The design gets a little busy for some things, right? But some of the design is nice and clean and interesting. Love this shit going on. Right? Very clean. Nice delineation. Diagonal. That diagonal really breaks it up, makes it dynamic, gives a bit of tension to the composition. They are a consummate professional. And they are a professional. They're doing all kinds of stuff. Anyway. And I would even say a much better illustrator than I am. So, what makes the difference? Taking the time. Taking the time and having the confidence to make the marks, right? Like, as well as knowing when you're making marks that aren't of the caliber that they need to be for a high-end finished product, right? Because there's been times where I've just been like phoning it in, where I'm just like, okay, yeah, okay, cool. And then I look back at like the last 10 minutes of drawing and I'm like, no, absolutely not. Undo all of that. And do it right. Part of that is, so, I don't know how many people have seen like animator sketches. So animators have this tendency to do like, they'll like double up on their lines, right? Because they're searching for the right line. They're like going over and over and over the line. So you get a lot of these marks that are like this, like right next to one another to get a shape, right? So they always do their lines in doubles. And I, because of trying to be an animator slash comic book guy for so long and all of that, I have a tendency to fall back to that when I'm tired, because I've worked for a long time to have the confident mark that is just that single mark and done, right? And a lot of the trace off drawings that I've done were meant to break myself of that double kind of approach. So I've worked hard to ingrain a more confident mark into what I do. And when I get tired, that mark suffers and it's not as confident. And I tend to come back and do that same line again and again. Like that. And you know, it's okay if you're gonna actually make the correct mark in there somewhere, but if you're doing something that's like inking and you're doing that, then you're going to end up with extraneous marks that aren't doing anything for you. So why would you make those marks in the first place, right? If this is something that one of the art directors had taught me early on at Bond, and the question is, what is that buying us? And oddly enough, it wasn't them saying, what is this buying us? It was me saying, what is this buying us? Because of the fact that they kept trying to inject something into a comp, or they kept trying to noodle a sketch, and I would have to stop and be like, well, what is doing this going to buy us? Is this going to buy us emotional impact? Is this going to buy us detail that is important to the storytelling? Is this going to sell the client on the style? So I had to constantly ask that because there was too much noodling going on, right? So asking yourself, what is going over the line a couple of times going to buy you, is a pretty important thing. I don't know any art directors like that right now that noodle their stuff like that. Not a one. So you can ask yourself as you're working, like, if you're making a mark, what is that mark buying you? And then if you really want to step it up, you can say, what are the two things that this mark is doing for me? And then when you really get there, what are the three things that this mark does, right? Oh man. Bummer. What are you doing? There it is. Wow, lyrics. I thought there was not supposed to be lyrics in this music. Sorry, friends. I know how distracting lyrics can be when you're trying to enjoy the dulcet sounds of my voice. Okay. Let's shift gears, friends. Drawing done. Got those doodles going. I don't feel so bad about this one. I feel like it came out all right. So, now we're gonna move over to this. And we're gonna duplicate that. And we're just gonna straight up delete this stuff. And I'm gonna find the shapes that I want to paint. And then decide if it's still worth doing, right? Got to be honest with yourself when you're doing this stuff. Like, is it going to make a fun piece of art that people are going to enjoy? Of course, I could be wrong. I'm very surprised what some people like. And it's not to say that their taste is suspect. It's just that when you've looked at a piece of art so long that it just like it loses its mystique, and all you can see is the glaring errors of your ways. It becomes hard to appreciate it for what is on the board, so to speak, right? Actually, I feel like it needs to be slightly bigger. All right. So yeah, we're going back to straight on with this face because the head tilt was just Just wasn't quite doing it for me. Wasn't feeling iconic enough, right? So we're going back to the smirk and the head tilt. So there's something to be said about it. For it, rather. Move that hairline down so that it's right against the horns. All right, and then smaller brush size. Make sure we got the right color here. Oof, those are way too even. There we go. Also trying to think about like how small are these shapes going to be as I paint them with a paintbrush, right? Because I haven't really busted out the like Series 7.0 yet, but that's, you know, that's comic book size like lines and details. But you would use, you know, you would use that same size or that same kind of brush for oil paintings that you use for comic book stuff, because it is a brush. So, thinking maybe we'll knock in some tone on this, just so that we have kind of a roadmap for what the values are going to look like when we're painting. I'm not going to go the full color thing, like, so Daniel will do like a full color study and have that on hand. I have an overarching idea about what I want to do, and I'm just going to let that inform my choices as I'm doing the painting aspects of it, right? Rather than working on, like, I'm not a huge fan of drawing the same thing over and over again. That's part of the reason that I didn't go into comic books, was because I found myself bored with drawing the characters, right? And then when I got out and I got out of college and I was doing the stuff for Nickelodeon Virtual Worlds, I was drawing the same thing 52 separate times on different Neopets animals, and it got fucking mind-numbing. So much so that I was ready to just be done with it, right? And that's when I quit and started doing sketch art. And I say I quit, but I just checked out, and then they let me go. But sketch art is almost always something new and different. There's all kinds of new projects, new characters and stuff. Got to learn how to draw them. Got to use your brain. Got to puzzle shit together. Got to people puzzle montages, which seems to be the order of the day for all these big superhero projects, right? Come to find that I enjoy the people puzzling peoples for those projects. I like think about like what characters can go next to other characters to try and tell a little bit of story in the poster, right? When you're familiar with the story, that is. Frequently you're not in my line of work. You get kind of the Cliff's Notes versions of it, and then you just have to make it up from there. Got to make sure I have all the lines that I'm going to need to do this transfer, right? Because the way that I'm going to paint this, these lines are really going to inform the final painting. There's going to be a lot of wash involved. Like the thing that I posted on the Discord today in the not safe for work section. It's going to have that wash underneath everything that informs it all, which means that some lines are going to show through. So working out all the lines ahead of time is very important. Working out the colors, not as important, because the washes themselves are going to build on top of one another. So let's see. Oh yeah, I got rid of all that. Okay. Let's hit save now. There we go, save it. Got ourselves some new and improved line work. Although, I think I might take out some of this, because flaring off to the side like that doesn't make too much sense. So let's do that. Alright, Seb. Have a good night, my brother. we will we'll talk to you soon. Here or there, everywhere. There we go. That line makes a little more sense. Has a good flow to it, I think. So, for the next half an hour or so, let's figure this out. Let's figure out some tonality for this. So, we know that we want to have this smoke back here kind of rising behind her off of this stuff. Oh crap, we gotta get the whole thing in there, don't we? No, we don't. Here. So I'm gonna have it kind of darker near the edges, I think. And fading towards the center, but not fading too much because I want that hair to really stand out. There we go, like so. So I'm just cleaning out the edges so that I can actually come in and just knock in the shadows on these guys pretty quickly, right? Without the interference of the background layers. Smudging some of these edges up. What the fuck just happened? I feel like I'm gonna have to update my my Cintiq drivers because it's been doing this weird stuff recently. It's weird stuff. Where it's doing selections and stuff after I lift up my brush, which is that's not something you want happening. That's not good for you. Does not promote efficiency. We do not like. Another layer, darker down here. So she's going to be lit. We know this from the top because of her hair. So a little bit of shadow there, a little bit under the clavicle. It's going to be darker under there. Then, if I remember correctly, we're going to darken out the wings towards the outside, but have them be a little bit lighter in the center, but still a graphic shape. Oh. So this is why I put those lines in there, so that it's shorthand for me, so that I can see where the shadow shapes are going to live, right? And where the highlights are going to live. And then I can very easily knock in those shadow shapes more. And in this case, smooth it all out, because that's going to be more of a flat shape. So you can see, cutting out those scratches and shit in the wings. Clean up some of this background real quick. It's actually going a little faster than I thought it would. Cool. This will be ready for prime time in no time. What? So another thing is, towards the bottom, we're going to have some of that same kind of graphic shape where everything blends together, right? And the wash will help to sell that even more. And all I'll really have to do is leave some of the lines in there to be the darkest darks, and that will sell some of those dark areas. And then up near the top, near the focal point being her face and everything, right? I'll do more rendering. Of course, I'll render in some of the shadows and stuff underneath her face and underneath her boobs. And as it gets closer to that, there'll be more and more detail, but some of it will just fall away, and it'll probably be like a single brush stroke that makes up most of the information that you end up seeing. So her jaw shape and features are loosely based on one of my favorite models, Amanda. She has a very kind of squared off jaw. Very fun to draw. So I'll come in here and get some highlights on these skulls so that you can actually see that they're skulls and shit, right? As well as these teeth sticking out, because everybody likes rando teeth. Blend some of this. And then come in and erase out some of the brightest parts, just to give us the data for when we're actually doing our painting, the things that we need to keep in mind. Like some of these highlights that make this thing uncomfortably slimy looking. Was I gonna have a background tone in there? I don't think I was. Cool. So now, lit from the inside, which means it's going to be lit on this side and this side and above. All that's going to be dark. Like so. Put in some darker to kind of draw your eye up, make it a little heavier at the top, right? So the darker it is, the more visual weight it has. Which is why inks are so wonderful, because they feel heavy on the page, right? Feel contrasty and your eye is drawn to them. So create contrasts to move the eye around, make sure that you have balance. So while it's going to be lit from inside or from behind it, it's still going to have some value, right? We're not going all the way to white, because otherwise it's going to compete with the hair and the shapes will get lost. So it's still going to be a shade of gray or a shade of whatever hue we decide, but it's going to be lighter. Like so. So, this might be it. This might be the painting, but I'm not gonna know until I put it away and come back to it and experience it with fresh eyes. Look at it and go, okay, is this worth the amount of time that it's gonna take to paint this up? Because it's going to take time. There's gonna be sittings where we'll paint on it and we'll get it to a certain level and then we'll have to let it dry. So there'll be other streams in between whilst it dries, and then we'll hit it again because then the colors will pop more, or we can work back into an area that needs to be reworked. They take a long time, friends. I have usually, when I'm painting, I have 3 paintings going at any given time so that I can work on one, set it on the side, work on the next one, and work on a third one, and then eventually I'm finishing one out and working on and then starting a new one, so that it's like this just kind of production line of paintings. Like I'm always thinking about like, what's the next painting, where's it going, and then I pick up the next board and I start the washes on the next board as I'm finishing up the other one. Thank you, Sariana. But yeah, we did some sketches. We worked out the drawing, I think, and I think that's it for the stream, friends. I'm gonna go fuck off, and I'll be back over on Twitch on Wednesday. Maybe, who knows, if I've got the time, I will do a transfer, but with the way work is going, I don't think I will have the time, because I've got to take all of those wonderful ink things that I did, and oh, thank you, Martest, I appreciate that. I got to take those ink things that I did and turn those into high res assets that I can use. So if I have time, I will transfer this. I do have to take a look at it and make sure that it's of the caliber that I think it's feeling like, and then if it is, do the transfer and prepare the board to be painted on, which would be fun. Which means that if we don't get to it Wednesday, then we will get to it next week, as far as the beginnings of it, at least. So that being said, friends, we'll see you Wednesday over on Twitch. Thanks for hanging out tonight, and yeah, we'll catch you next time. Love y'all, love one another, be kind to each other, and that's it from the Arts Department. Keep drawing. We'll see you next time.
Bye, go.
Oh, queefs. There, girl. And Jennifer with the curves and the colors and put the thing in the purple. Oh, no. Oh. Are you ready for the nips? I give you nips. And then butt hole. Butt hole. It's just fun to say, really. Clamming is what I'm all about. I hear that about you, Burger. Clamming and wieners. It's also fun to say it like as one word, but quickly. Buttle. Buttle. It's almost a bottle, but it's a buttle. I mean, like sausage. I mean, like hot dogs. Hot dog. Gonna get banned. Oof, timed out. Oh yeah. What's going on in there? Nothing, Mom. Just washing my hair. Oh, syrup pockets. That's, girls have syrup pockets. I don't know what's wrong with me tonight. I'm just like, draw all the stupid things that come to mind. This is an adult stream filled with immature people, and we love it.